mom?
Is there something more current?
It's all good. No,
That's still it,
yeah,
right?
mom of two.
You're a mom.
Yeah.
You get your kids ready for school.
Getting kids ready for school. It's hard to believe the
Trish
summer's over.
DeBerry-Mejia.
Good to be here.
Will you be doing tax-free shopping this
I
weekend?
may be doing a little tax-free shopping.
Yeah.
All the school supplies are taken care of, but yeah, you know, as somebody who works full-time, it's hard for me to shop during the week, and sometimes
There you go.
things don't get done till the last minute, so we'll probably be picking up school shoes and clothes and things
Well,
like
I
that.
know this must be a very busy time, so thanks for being on Gang of Four.
Absolutely.
All right, Jonathan Gurwitz is part of the editorial board and a columnist at the San Antonio Express News. We feel like he has plenty of free time, so we're not as grateful to him for being here. But you've got kids getting ready to go back to school too, right?
One entering junior school and one entering high
How
school.
about that? Middle school and high school.
Yeah.
Wow, And what's new at the paper?
Well, as I was just saying, it's normally summer and especially August.
Doldrums, right?
But at the local, state, national, in every level,
Yeah.
it's full bore right now.
I don't know. I kind of think we used to look at the summer and also that period right around Christmas as being kind of like the valley of death for hot topics. Really not anymore. It seems like nowadays there's always something. I don't know if there is a slow season anymore.
I don't know. Even so,
I'd like to try one.
Even so, I think this year is unusual.
It's exceptional.
Yeah.
J.T. Street is a video journalist, assignment editor. And what is the thing called?
Streets Corner.
Streets Corner.
Yeah, there it is.
On Fox News at 9, Fox San Antonio. Former KTSA reporter, long time ago, back when there was radio. And welcome back. It's good to have you here.
Good to be back.
What's new with you?
Streets Corner is hopping. It's a lot of fun. Let's see, I rode a sea lion. That was interesting. I did that a couple weeks ago.
I sure hope you were at SeaWorld.
I was,
Okay.
which is the best place to do it.
Yeah.
They took a little HD camera and strapped it to my head and just sort of grabbed the back paws of the sea lion and went around.
Was it your choice, or I mean?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it wasn't the sea lion's choice.
No, I wouldn't think so.
But it was mine. Yeah.
So you went to them and said, "I think it would be cool to."
Well, on that, I met one of the trainers who is a beluga whale trainer, and apparently it's just a little bit of a crossover from beluga whale training to sea lion training. And I said, well, you know, what sort of programs do you have? Because I'm always looking for story ideas. And he's like, well, would you like to ride a sea lion? And I'm like, okay.
How do you answer that question?
Yeah, it was all right, sure. Let's
so what was
give it a shot. It was
smooth ride.
The first 2/3 of it were exhilarating and amazing. I mean, you're grabbing onto the back of this 500-pound.
Oh, they're really that big. Wow,
they are not small.
I always
not
say way
small
up in the back,
creatures.
they don't look that big to me.
So we're going around the turn, and I'm still holding on. And
What are you holding on to?
The rear flippers.
Okay.
It's got the front. I'm messing it up.
Are you film the hand gestures because they're priceless in this story. Okay.
They go like this, and yeah. So I'm grabbing
Pay
on there.
attention, Jonathan. You may have to do this someday.
It's a great feature piece,
Yeah.
Jonathan. If you ever want to
If it
get
gets
your
slow
feet
at the
wet.
Express, you'll be doing this.
Yeah, if you want to editorialize sea lions, Jonathan, yes, that's... Yeah.
There is a lot of controversy in the sea lion community.
Absolutely, I believe that.
So I'm going around the turn, right, and the sea lion sticks up his head and goes, "Whoa," and does like the sea lion, I guess, groan of displeasure because I hope not. So at that moment, I'm like, hey, thanks for, I just being an idiot. I'm like, hey, thanks for taking me on a ride, because I wanted to calm the 500-pound animal that I'm interacting with.
Good thinking.
Well, they told me before I left, don't open your mouth.
Oh.
And I went, hey! And right in that moment, this just wave of sea lion infused salt water right in
Got the
my
juices.
It was not all salt water.
No.
It was not. And that is an experience I'll never forget.
All right.
So I love my job.
All right. You. What will you be riding next? What helpless animal will you be climbing up to?
I think that's it yeah, I'm no Jack Hanna, man. My days of animal adventuring are pretty much
I was
over.
about to say, watch out, Jack. You might be looking for a piggyback ride.
It's like he has the most fascinating bucket list in the world.
It's true.
J.T. Street. All right. Well, speaking of a guy who's trying new things, Rick Perry says he'll get America working again, and like many Americans, he hopes to soon have a new job. Is this sort of the ultimate power trip, delusion? Is Rick Perry running because there's what else is there left for him to do? Or is Rick Perry the man of the moment? Is he just what the Republican Party and maybe the country have been waiting for? Or if you don't like any of those choices.
Well, no. I mean, I certainly think he's what the Republican Party needed right now because there was nobody that was really breaking out of the pack. I mean, it was kind of a snooze fest, aside from Michelle Bachmann, although she can be entertaining too sometimes, based upon what we've seen and what we've heard. A little confusion between Elvis at the anniversary of Elvis's death and his birthday. You know, there is nobody.
She would have advisors for that if she became president, Trish. So.
But there is nobody that panders to the red meat base like Rick Perry does. He does it better than anybody. I mean, you know, Jonathan probably can weigh in here, and I think that red meat base was looking for somebody like a Rick Perry. Okay. Now, whether that plays out, you know, in the end, we'll see. But Jonathan, that's certainly exactly what he's doing.
Is he Mr. Right or just Mr. Right now?
Well, he's right for the Republican race.
Yes.
And all the little, you know, all the little cues that he drops about global warming and about creationism or evolution. And I mean, maybe we'll talk about this later, but he really crafts, those aren't just off-the-cuff statements. I mean, those are, if you look at what he's saying...
Yeah. No, there's an agenda there.
He's carefully crafted those statements. So he's really appealing, like Trish said, to the red meat base of the Republican Party. Now, the question is, I mean, that's a winner for a Republican primary.
Exactly.
But is that a winner in a general election? Are the people, the 20% of independent voters who put Obama over the top in 2008, are those people going to vote for Rick Perry, who is a climate skeptic and an evolution skeptic and accuses Bernanke or treads on Bernanke being a traitor?
Yeah, I mean, he's an unapologetic social conservative.
Yeah.
What do you think, JT?
I think he's Mr. Right Wing, and it baffles me because even as conservative as he was when he was governor, to see the change in him since he announced his candidacy has been very marked. And I'm surprised a little bit by it. I don't know if it's the right direction, like you said, for the general election. I mean, do you really want to put your trust in a guy who, personally, I think calling them evolutionary skeptics gives skeptics a bad name. I mean, is there really any doubt in evolution? I don't know where
at this point you drive around in, but I see questions about evolution every day.
But there again, JT, what he didn't say he doubted evolution. What he said was there are gaps in evolutionary theory.
He gives you the feeling, like another politician I remember from a few years ago, that wherever you are, he might just agree with you. You can read into these, what Jonathan called carefully crafted little nuggets that sound like rough-edged, I'm just getting started, like Obama said, he's new at this. He's not new at it. He's the most experienced politician in either party running for president.
Well,
he knows what he's doing, and he knows how it sounds.
And I don't believe he's changed at all. I mean, you know, when he was governor of Texas, he was talking about seceding from the Union.
But you know, when he would say those things, Trish, a lot of people didn't believe he really meant them as much as he was saying them for the effect.
Well, exactly. But he's doing that exact same thing on the presidential campaign trail. I mean, he's throwing out these bombs, basically. And you know what? He has sucked all the oxygen out of the room as far as any other Republican that's in the race.
But is that just because I mean, Jonathan, you've got a lot of experience covering these. How much of this is just because he's the new guy? I mean, really? Like a month, 2, 3, 4 months from now, will we all still be this foamed up about him? I don't think so.
Well,
it's novelty.
The big issue with Perry is, of course, the economy. I mean, and he has the Texas economic situation to run on. And that is the issue. How are we going to get our economy back on track? How are we going to live within our means? It's going to be an election about the scope and the size of government. These are all Rick Perry issues. And so he is the best candidate, best positioned candidate on those issues. On top of the fact, and because he's new and he's got some aura around him. But I have to say, I mean, Perry, anyone who knows Perry knows he is a tireless campaigner. He is a tremendous political strategist. He's got a tremendous organization on the ground. He's going to raise an immense amount of money. Now that campaign may implode down the road, like you said. It may implode over his policies. It may implode over something that he says. But it's not going to implode because he doesn't have money, he doesn't have organization, he doesn't know what he's doing.
Well, I didn't suggest it would implode. I imagine he'll be in it till the end. I mean, it looks like at least Perry and Romney will be in it till the end. I don't know about any of the others staying that long. But my question is, once we get over the new guy thing, like in school, everybody talks about the new guy, but then after a while he's just one of those guys. And the people that are sampling him, not all of the people who are sampling him and giving him these big leads in these surveys, necessarily once they've sampled him, will like what they hear or the things they find out, the things they don't know yet that, for example, we do know. Unless or until Chris Christie or a Paul Ryan enters the race, Perry's got the sizzle.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think he will continue to be a front runner.
Yeah,
I'm going to call it right now. I think he wins the Republican nomination.
You think he will? Jonathan, do you think he will?
Too early to tell.
Too early to tell, yeah. JT?
Well, everyone's talking about the new guy. What about the old guy? What about Ron
Which
Paul?
Old guy?
The old guy. I mean, a couple elections ago, Ron Paul was thought of as this like fringe element with these crazy ideas about fiscal responsibility and limiting the size of government. And now everyone has just taken them, made them mainstream. And here's the guy who is basically championing these things before anyone else going, hello, still in the race, second in the Iowa straw poll. Right. You know, this was before Perry even decided to throw his hat in, and I think he's being really overlooked. So no, I don't think it's Perry's to lose or anything like that. I think there's still a couple of candidates in there. And if you're talking about general election, I think Ron Paul has a lot more pull with independents than somebody like Rick Perry, who's incredibly socially conservative.
We're back with more of this and much more to talk about with our Gang of Four at 599-5555. You can be a part of that. But first, in the newsroom, here's Karen. Him about creationism. Yeah, and what I thought was so weird about that clip is the mother is directing the. Yeah. And I'm sitting there thinking, why don't you just ask the question? It's your question. It's not it's not the kid's question. I don't think. And as you said, Trish, it was one of those moments that you could. But for Perry, because he knows that's coming. He gives a completely fantastic answer that's not even remotely accurate, but sounds good and sounds like he's very well prepared.
Yep.
So I think he's for real.
Yeah, I do too.
I don't think that in 3 months' time there'll be this much excitement, because in 3 months' time his feet will be touching the ground. You'll have heard things that we take for granted, that we've known all along, that people in other parts of the country will have some disappointment in, I think, about his actual record. Some of the stuff you're bringing up, JT. I mean, even if you like his right-wing red meat, his record as governor doesn't actually bear that out.
Did you see there was an ad in an Austin paper today asking people if they'd had sex with Rick Perry?
We're going to get a shot of it.
There you go.
For the video podcast. Have you ever had sex with Rick Perry? It's posted by the Committee Against Sexual Hypocrisy. Aren't we all against? Is there anyone for sexual hypocrisy? It says, are you a stripper, an escort, or just a young hottie? JT, which are you?
Right now, just a young hottie, but I have been practicing.
Impressed by an arrogant, entitled governor of Texas, contact Cash, and we will help you publicize your direct dealings with a Christian buzzword-spreading, family values hypocrite and fraud. So I wonder how the casting call will go. Do you think they're getting a lot of people, or?
I'm sure it's interesting.
Getting a big response. Does he have that, not literally that, but I mean, does he have like skeletons in the closet, or is it more like the Gardasil issue that when people hear about it are going to be disillusioned about it?